operations is a phrase which has become a symbol of British success in battle. It is the foundation upon which has been built the landings in North Africa, in Sicily, and in Italy. It is the workshop in which is being forged the weapon which will soon pierce the western defenses of Hitler's Europe. At training centers in Scotland and England, hundreds of thousands of British and Allied troops are studying the technique of invasion. Well schooled in this technique are the Canadians, who have put to good use their long period of waiting. When the 1st Division went into Sicily with the 8th Army, it was the thoroughness of their training in combined ops that made possible the smooth, efficient landings and the swift advance inland. And the rest of the Canadian Army is making sure that when the curtain rises for the final act of the drama, every part will have been rehearsed to perfection. There was excitement and suspense in the air when thousands of British and Canadian troops moved to embarkation ports on the coast. It really looked as though this was the day they'd all been waiting for. But it was another exercise, this time the biggest yet. Men, tanks, guns, and vehicles of all descriptions moved to the concentration areas in steady streams and boarded the waiting landing craft. Then a great armada of troop ships and landing craft with a powerful naval escort sailed out into the channel towards the French coast in the most ambitious and dangerous amphibious exercise ever attempted. The motley fleet sailed to a point only a few miles from France, within easy reach of the German coastal batteries, but not a shot was fired. Although it was just an exercise to the surface forces, to the Allied air forces, it was a major operation, and German bases throughout France were severely battered. And though the ships returned to England, the exercise proved many things, of which the chief one is, it can be done. Enemy aircraft have learned to respect the powerful air defenses of Britain. And playing their part in these defenses are Canadian heavy and light Ack-Ack gunners. The 3.7 heavy anti-aircraft gun is used to take on enemy planes out of the range of the lighter Beauforts. Equally accurate by day and by night, it is the mainstay of ground defense, being extremely effective in breaking up high-level bombing attacks. Gone are the grim days of 1940. The Luftwaffe has had its day, and it is guns and gunners like these who have helped swing the pendulum of war from defense to attack. Field Marshal Lord Wavell, Viceroy Designate of India, started his military career in the Black Watch. His father had served with the regiment, and his son is now in the Middle East with one of the battalions. And so his visit to the Black Watch of Canada held a special significance and symbolized the regimental traditions of the British Empire forces. Like so many other British regiments, the Black Watch has Allied battalions throughout the Empire, in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. And the bond between them all is a very close one. Each British regiment cherishes its own particular traditions, and even the youngest battalion is fiercely proud of them. So it is that the Black Watch of Canada shares in the parent regiment's glory of Ticonderoga and Geldermalsen, as well as its own traditions of Eton and Vimy and Passchendaele, and each adds its bit to the intangible something which is the pride of regiment. The Canadians were proud indeed to march past their distinguished guest. For this was Wavell of Cyrenaica, the man who saved Egypt from Rommel's Africa Corps, and the man who is to guide India's troubled destinies. Recently released by the censors are pictures of the great new tank landing ships used in the Sicily and Italy landings. These are truly remarkable ships. Their bows fold outwards, and tanks, guns, carriers, and vehicles of all sorts can drive down a ramp to the shore. They are so designed that they can sail right into shallow water and come to rest on the beach. And yet they are so seaworthy that many of them went direct from England to Sicily. They look rather like oil tankers, but decks bristling with anti-aircraft guns keep enemy aircraft at a healthy distance. As well as mechanized equipment, they carry several hundred assault troops and are invaluable in any large-scale landing operation. War correspondents have been with the forward troops since the initial Sicily landings. And the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation's recording units, of which MacDonald and Paul Johnston are engineers, have been there with them. Sound from the battlefront has been recorded together with the voices of Matt Halton and Peter Stursberg, who have reported the campaign on the spot. The job of the war correspondent is tough, and though non-combatant and unarmed, they run the risks of soldiers and suffer the casualties of soldiers. But they have a grand story to tell as the Canadians swing north through Italy, and they are telling it well. As the Canadians pressed forward, they met little resistance. About the only delays were caused by enemy demolitions, and it didn't take very long to straighten things out. Where there's a will, there's a way, even if the going is a bit tough. As in Sicily, mule trains played an important part in getting up supplies. Both Canadian and other 8th Army troops found that the mule was the only form of transport through the untracked mountain country. Past German graves, the great chase went on, past shattered German equipment. At Salerno, the 5th Army was in trouble, and Montgomery's men were needed. There was no time to be tired in these hectic days. Along dusty, snaky roads, the tireless Canadians pushed their way. 400 miles from the landing beaches on the Straits of Messina. History was being made, but no one had time to realize the fact. And as village after village was occupied by the advancing army, Canadians were proud of their destiny, proud that they were in the vanguard of the avenging hosts that had breached the walls of Hitler's fortress, and proud that they had a part in the freeing of the enslaved peoples of Europe.